Hi there, folks. Well, I'm going to be sharing a concept over the next few minutes. It's called change the meaning to change the feeling. I bring it into beyond thinking. This has really worked for me in my personal life. I'll share a bit of a personal story as to how it made a major impact. But I speak a lot about thoughts and how thoughts are so powerful. In this case, I even go further to say it's how we think, which leads to what we think. So how we think, I think, is vital in terms of the reality we are creating around us. And this is where change the meaning to change the feeling comes in. It is how we think. Now, we can give ourselves the freedom to choose on how to think, or we can, without awareness, just let our thoughts control us. Now, many years ago, I was going through a dreadful divorce with the mother of my two darling children, and she and I were at each other. No divorce is pleasant. And I'll never forget, it was a couple of months just after we had sort of got through the actual divorce. And she was sitting with me and saying, Cole, what will you do for your daughters? And I said, I'll do anything for them. As a parent, I'll do anything for them. And she said, well, are you prepared to be my friend? And are you prepared to co-parent with me so we can bring those girls up in a loving environment regardless of our stuff between each other? Well, I tell you what, it hit home. I thought, wow, that is, what will you do for your children? Everything and anything. And I looked at this, and the first thing I had to actually do was accept it was finally over. So I feel, how we think, it's as important to accept what is, so you give yourself the freedom, the space on how you're going to think around that scenario or situation you'll find yourself in. So I accepted it. It's over. And to this day, I can say I have an incredible friendship with my daughter's mom. She and I have an incredible co-parenting relationship with each other, and even indeed her husband who has come into her life. He's a great co-dad, and this is because we changed the meaning to change the feeling. What would you do for your children? And I feel this is maybe most divorced couples, if they give themselves the freedom to choose on how they think, could make an incredibly different world for their children if they did so. But we can do it in our everyday lives. It's not just through divorces and those really sad situations that we feel we're totally out of control in. It can also be in the traffic, and talk about the traffic, the car exercise. And for me, when I'm in the cities, we can spend between 1.5 to 2 hours sitting in the traffic. I feel it is really important to use those hours whilst we're sitting in the traffic, paying attention to how we're thinking. Because without awareness, we can go into that prison where we can blame the people in front of us, hoot at other people, get angry with the people around us because the traffic's crazy. Meanwhile, they're equally as frustrated as we are. And we can step into this awareness and go, how am I thinking? How can I change this? And I feel one of the greatest things we can do in the traffic, when there's nowhere to rush to, there really is nowhere to rush to, we can stop rushing in our brains as well, stop rushing those thoughts, settle the thoughts down, and start looking for gratitude. What can I be grateful for in this very moment? Yes, in the middle of the city, while there's all the cars around us. And I feel that's how we start changing our day ahead of us, by calming ourselves down, changing the meaning, changing the feeling. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be gratitude. You can start paying attention to the people around you. Notice your angry thoughts, change them maybe to, well, if we are slower, maybe that's saving me from having an accident later on. You can change whatever story you have in your mind, because most of the time when we're in the prison of just thinking, we are creating so many assumptions, we're creating stories anyway, so we might as well choose the stories we want to create in our mind, and that will have an effect on our reality. So yeah, folks, these are just some wonderful ideas. I hope you do work with them, and until we chat again, take care and stay aware.